Peace. Yo, I'd like to welcome you to the journey. This is Brother Hatim, Freestyle Fridays, and I'm out once again. Today I'm by myself. Last week I had room full, I guess. As close to the room full as you can get with a show like this. I'm gonna keep it all the way live with y'all and we'll see what emerges. Of course, that you can hit me by text message. You can also hit me on IM message on the player, the Spreaker player. You know what I'm saying? You can also make sure you check out my blog at www.giamicjourney.com. Find out what's going on while I'm on this journey. Right now I'm doing a whole lot of riding and I'm running out of time. It's always seemed to be a time issue when you're trying to do stuff. So I'm running into a lot of difficulties as far as writer's block at this point in time because I have to create stuff and keep it moving, and then also I got to do some research for the show, which oftentimes falls off. But I still try to keep it going, and I just want to welcome everybody and thank everybody to take time to listen to me live or just listen to the broadcast. I appreciate that. And once again, I'm coming live from the Shisha Lounge, 2369 North High Street. Feel free to come out here and sit with me. Of course, the first hookah is on me. It's kind of an off-pay week, so I still got a little bit of bread to get the hookah for those that come in and join me on the show. First, let me send out the shots that I usually send out. First, I want to send out shots to Oxy Water, the world's first oxygen-enhanced mineral water. You can try the Oxy Water Black, Oxy Water Pink. They have cherry pomegranate, island citrus, passion berry, and also you can find out more information about Oxy Water at www.tryoxywater.com. Also, I want to send out shots to Orange 82, an electronic music label, who provide me with my music on a weekly basis. They give me new stuff where I can try. So right now I'm running through some stuff. As you hear, I got a little bit of music playing in the background because I want to make sure that I'm giving you something to keep you interested, since I don't have the picture as of yet. I haven't figured out how to link all of it to where I can actually do like a Hangout or Google Hangout or a live picture broadcast on YouTube without losing the essence of being in a place. I choose to come to the hookah bar because you never know who you run into at the hookah bar, and you never know what type of conversations you're gonna have. But tonight y'all got me, and I'm gonna give you the best that I could do. You can get more information on this surfing music from www.orange82.com. Also, I want to send out shots to Unidaji Capoeira, led by Monitor Dentista, located in Cleveland, Columbus, Dayton, Toledo, Chicago, Illinois, and Decatur, Madison, Alabama. Sending shots out to Monitor Dentista. We also got classes going on right now on Fridays and Sundays over at the Millennium Community School in Columbus, Ohio. So feel free to come down and check us out. Alright, now also be sure to check us out at New Harvest Cafe. New Harvest Cafe. I will come back with the address because I don't have the address written down, but I'm going to make sure you get that address because now I had to get back up on the stage for some poetry. I'm going to talk a little bit about that, why I decided to do that, and why I feel it's important that I hit that stage again. You know what I'm saying? Because, it is what it is. So we're going to make it happen over there at New Harvest Arts Complex. So it's New Harvest Cafe, and you also can find them as New Harvest Art Complex in Columbus, Ohio. So when I go to my break, I will look up New Harvest Cafe for you so that you will be able to get over there to that location as easily as possible. Also, I'm sending out invitations over the internet. New Harvest Cafe is at 1675 Arlington Avenue, Columbus, Ohio. 1675 Arlington Avenue, Columbus, Ohio. Come check out the show because we're gonna have some poets, old poets, new poets. It's gonna be like a family reunion because we haven't done this poetry piece for the last maybe 5 years. Now this time coming back, got my brother Allende. He gonna be keeping us up on the drums. It's hosted, of course, by Brother Kojo and your MC or Master of Ceremonies. It's Brother Hatim, and I'm gonna bring it. I'm trying to bring the spirit because I need a place where I can bring the spirit on a regular basis and not really have to worry about nothing, because we all need a little spirit in our lives. Now, also check me out at www.giamijourney.com. Check out my books. I got 2 new books coming out by the end of this summer. One will be entitled 7 Sticks, and the other one I haven't really decided on the title. So let's go a little bit into the one book. Of course, those of you that's been following me know that Brother Hatim has a story for everything. I got a story for everything up under the sun, and I feel that these stories are important because we never know what type of information or what type of information will come through the stories for people that need the stories, or what type of assistance your story will have for other people. Now, this gets back to what I was talking about far as me getting back on stage on Wednesday nights, because what I noticed was that when I stopped doing the weekly poetry things on a weekly basis, it kind of left kind of a void. Not necessarily that there wasn't other poets and other things going on, and I give them shots out because there's more than enough people in Columbus to do 50 poetry spots at one time. But Wednesday night was something very special because for a lot of people that came in, Wednesday night was the only time that they had to really interact with anybody that was like them. Because a lot of people sit at home and write poetry in private. They sit at home and they write poetry not for the world to see, not knowing that those words may have came through them for someone else. So what I want to do is provide a space where people come out and share their thoughts, share their ideas, share their views. So we're going to be networking. We're going to have commentary on the stage. And of course, every now and then I'm going to tell one of my stories. So now this brings me back to my book. I'm bringing out another book. The last book I did on stories was called The Lost Art of Storytelling, because I honestly believe that it's a lost art. And it's not lost in the sense that nobody is doing it, because there's plenty of people doing it. A lot of people don't really understand that the storytelling business is a major business all over this world. We don't look at them as stories, but that's exactly what they are. When you look at movies, when you look at TV shows, when you look at some of these radio shows, when you look at some of these MCs, when you pile all that up together and look at it for what it is, it's nothing but glorified storytelling. And I say it's a lost art because people have just started telling stories just, in a sense, for the money rather than the necessity of it. See, because stories are important, because stories is how one generation pass on lessons to the next generation. Stories touch you emotionally. Stories move your mind, in some cases your body and your spirit, and most importantly your emotions, all at the same time. It activates your imagination when you're listening to a story, because you have to create the scenes rather than to have somebody else do it for you like they do in movies. It's important for the elders to sit down with the children and to talk about stories, or to tell stories. Not just stories about their lives, but stories that teach moral lessons, stories that teach economic lessons, stories that teach lessons so that our children, as well as some of the adults that may have missed that aspect of life, can get. Because stories are concentrated wisdom that can be used to help move somebody from one point in life to another. And you never know who benefits from the stories that you tell. Now, so that's another reason I wanted to make sure that I got back on the mic on Wednesdays. One, because I'm going to have a live broadcast coming from there eventually when I figure out how to link the mics in. Two, I want people to get up and tell their thoughts and their stories. Three, I want people to start building up the courage to share what they have created. Because a lot of us are hiding our light up under a bushel, not knowing by doing so we are starving the world of our creation and of our children. Because those poems, those stories are something that came through you. You gave birth to them, and it's like you took your child and you just locked it up in the basement, and you deny the world the beauty of that child. And I'm saying let your children out. So that's why we're going to be kicking it on Wednesdays nights at 9 o'clock at New Harvest Cafe. Once again, the address is 1675 Arlington, Ohio, Columbus, Ohio. Make sure your face is in the place, and maybe I might give you an interview. Alright? A number that you can reach for New Harvest Cafe to get some more information about it and also find out about what food will be available is 614-447-8810. Brother Hatim will be in the house every Wednesday night, and I will be MCing. Brother Quojo will act as host because it is his venue, and we will have Brother Allende on the drum. On to some news that I found. I was looking through my news piece, and I stumbled across this article in the Huffington Post. I subscribe to Huffington Post, so I'm gonna share a little bit of the article. Well, anyway, some scientists were digging in an old dump in Britain, I think it is. It says ancient carving of Roman god's head discovered in English garbage dump. Alright, first off, the first thing that caught my attention when I was looking at the statue is the guy got big eyes, got a wide nose, and he got some prominent lips, and then when you look at the hair, it kind of tightly curled. And this trash dump, well, actually the carving is said to be 1,800 years old. It's a stone carving of a head of a Roman god. Now let me go back to the description. We got a brother with wide eyes, a big nose, wide lips, sort of look like Pookie Johnson. You know, that neighbor that, you know, we don't like to talk about a lot of time. But this Pookie Johnson was being worshipped at a major fort from during the Roman Empire around 8100 in northeastern England. Now, the archaeologists involved with the dig believe that somebody probably tossed it as the Roman Empire began to fall. But this Pookie Johnson was being worshipped as a god at this ancient Roman fort. Now, this is what caught my attention because I looked at the picture first and I wasn't going to say nothing because, you know, we live in a post-racial society right now. You know, race don't really make a difference. Bullshit. You know, it don't make a difference anymore, right? You know, so I'm looking at this and I look at the brother's features and I describe it to you again. Kind of tight curled hair, wide eyes, big nose, lips. Look like Pookie Johnson with a Jerry curl. Y'all remember the Jerry curls? Well, anyway, I'm gonna move on. They dug this guy up, and I'm gonna read this paragraph. The team is particularly interested in the unique local aesthetic of the head, which combines classical Roman art and regional Romano-British art. Some of the facial features also appear to be African, though this remains speculative. Now I'm looking at Pookie Johnson. I know Pookie Johnson because I used to play with Pookie Johnson. I know what Pookie Johnson looked like, and this is definitely Pookie Johnson. So, ladies and gentlemen, that dude named Pookie that you used to play with in the neighborhood was worshipped over 1,800 years ago. And the problem that I have with this is if we're living in a post-racial society, in a post-racial world, why not just say what it is? is not speculative. When you look at the guy's eyes, you look at his nose, you look at his lips, and you look at that nappy ass hair, you know that it's not European. And it's interesting that it has been pointed out by historian after historian that the Romans used to worship deities that look like many of the people that are underclass and poor in America today. Now, and I know many of y'all know this, but I just like bringing stuff out like that so that, maybe it might spark a discussion, maybe it might piss some people off. Either way, it don't really matter to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm ready. You got to realize I sat at the feet of Brother Nomo X for over 30 years, so it don't make no motherfucking difference. So I could pull out my bag of tricks. And with the internet, I could pull up picture after picture to show that actually, when it comes down to it, there's more than one Roman deity that look like Pookie Johnson. You know what I'm saying? And we just need to be honest about that, because if we living in a post-racial world, we need to elevate everybody. And one of the things that might help some young black people, some young brown people, is to realize that in ancient societies, deities looked like them. The gods and the goddesses, regardless of what you call polytheism, call it what you want. But the point is that that people that look like those people that are underclass, that are overlooked, that are in some cases persecuted and sometimes murdered for their color, were worshipped as divine at one point in time. That dude Zimmerman in Florida may have shot a deity. Just saying. And I think that's something that we really need to look at it if we are in a post-racial society. But if not, of course, we should speculate. We should guess at his features and where his features came from. You know what I'm saying? We should look at some of the writings and continue to speculate rather than being bold enough as a professional archaeologist, as a professional truth seeker, as they say, to come out and say, this guy is definitely of African stock. Alright, so now this brings me around to the next point that I'm going to deal with. I was having a conversation, and I constantly have this conversation about the black community. Because that's where I live. I'm in it, I love it, and I love the struggle. But I have to say this. I challenge people to demonstrate to me where the black community is. What is it? You know what I'm saying? Because we got national speakers that come on and talk about people being people constantly talk about people constantly talking about the black community. I challenge people to show me where this thing at. Where is this community? You know what I'm saying? Because one of the things that I think we kind of get confused on a lot of time is that, like when we look at the principle of unity and we talk about having unity in a black community, I think some people actually think unity means uniformity, where we all look alike, we all dress alike, we all act alike, and of course, because we do all those things, we all think alike. But the fact of the matter is, unity has nothing to do with uniformity. Now, it can include uniformity, but it doesn't have to include uniformity. You don't need everybody acting alike. You don't need everybody thinking alike. You don't need everybody thinking the same thoughts, because that weakens you as a group. You need to have that individuality within the group, and y'all need to work on common agendas. But one of the problems that I see a lot of times is that because we think we all got to be alike, we all got to think alike, we all got to act as one, not realizing that acting as one does not require us to become like each other. Matter of fact, in any being, when everything becomes exactly alike, rather than things specializing within this one thing, whether it's a community of people or a community of viruses or a community of cells that make organs, and these organs make a body, and these bodies make a living being. Each of those cells work together as one, but all the cells are not exactly alike. Nature shows us this. Nature pulls this out for us. Nature demonstrates this to us, but we constantly want to fall up under the auspice that we all got to be thinking and acting exactly alike. No. That's why I say there's no black community, because we haven't really looked at the principles to really understand them. Because at the source, one of the things that we make sure people understand when they're in geometry, at least I try. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I'm just an educator. I'm not trying to lead nobody nowhere. I'm just trying to make sure people got the information to make decisions for themselves that is the best for them. But the thing I try to get people to understand is that unity is about becoming interdependent and also reflecting your independence. In order for a community to work, there has to be a interdependent quality going on within the group. They're all not alike, but they all are working towards a similar idea, life. And it don't have to even look the same at the end, because the heart's goal in your body is different than necessarily your brain's goal. The heart want to make sure that it's able to keep pumping its blood. The brain is trying to make sure that it's able to think and be able to react to keep you safe. Your liver is working on a whole nother job, but their total agenda is to make sure that your body works. So when we start coming together in groups and understanding that we all have different roles, and all of us don't have to act alike, we'll be cool. Also, another piece that I don't think a lot of people want to deal with is that although we come from Africa, we come from different places in Africa. Africa is a continent, goddammit. It's not a country. You know what I'm saying? So all of us come from different tribes. And this is why I push the concept of tribes when I'm talking to people. What tribe do you belong to here in America? You know what I'm saying? Because it don't make no sense to keep on running talking about you an African. So what? They got beef over in Africa. What tribe are you representing? What tribe do you belong to here to get things working for you and that continent? That's getting things working in America so that we can start importing things from the continent or exporting things to that continent. Because I don't think a lot of people really realize that through the power of the internet, we are now moving into an age where within the next 5 years, there will be over 2 billion new people entering the internet. We're going to talk about what that means in a second.
Free in theory.
Peace, I'm back. And that was FBK, Emotions Other Than Lust. The 2012 edit. That was kind of hot. You know, that's that surfing music keep you up all night. Now, some of the stuff that I found in the news that I wanted to talk about, that I get prepared just in case I don't have guests. Now, there's these things called superbugs that's going around. Superbugs are basically diseases that have become immune to the regular um, uh, shots, the regular stuff that they use to kill them. And these superbugs, like tuberculosis, develop a superbug that it takes an extreme long time to kill them. And these diseases are just evolving. They constantly evolve and adapt to what we put on them to stay alive. They fight for life just like human beings. So we get smart, we bring out penicillin, they become immune to penicillin. Then we come up with moxicillin, they outsmart that. And some of these bugs are becoming so smart that, or becoming so adaptive and so strong that now they just call them superbugs and we can't find them to destroy them. But one of the things that they have found that works is when they add silver. Yeah, the silver that Brother Hatim wear around his neck. When they add silver, it increases the power of the inoculation by 1,000 times. So when they use and add just a little bit of silver into these shots or into the mixture that they use to fight these germs and these viruses, just adding just a tiny amount of silver kills makes it more potent. And people for hundreds of years have used silver as an uh, anti-germicidal. It's germicidal. It's virucidal. It kills all these things. As a matter of fact, I heard one guy describe. He said that he remembered his grandfather used to go out to the barn and milk the cow and bring the cow back and bring the milk back in the house and drop a silver dollar in it, and that milk would be able to sit there for days without curdling because the silver within the silver dollar would in a sense spread out and kill viruses. I don't know how strong, I don't know how true this is, but I have known people who have used silver and have miraculous effects. But the problem is that when we use too much silver, it causes this stuff called argyria, and it basically turns your skin blue. Now, I mean, with every little ray of sunshine, every little bit of good news, you always got to have some fucked up news with it. But if you get the superbug, your ass might need to be willing to turn blue. I don't know if they could get rid of the blueness once you turn blue. I don't think turning blue is fatal, but this shit is killing and making the injections 1,000 times stronger to kill some of these superbugs. I think we might need to use it, but this is my concern. What happens when these motherfuckers adjust to this silver boosted shit? What happens? Then we got a super bug. What we gonna do then? Alright, now on into the news. This NSA and this IRS shit. First, let me hit the IRS shit. Now, being someone who has always strived to get a 501c3, I already knew that the IRS was rough to get through. Um, I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked, and I don't think it's a big conspiracy. I think this is just a ploy, and this proves that through social media and through crying long enough, you get attention. Um, I'm thinking that this is a ploy by the right wing to bring some attention to some shit that really don't really matter that much. And this is why I'm saying that. Think about this. Through the late 90s, early 2000s, I've constantly tried to get 501c3s, and it was very difficult to just get a 501c3. And part of having a 501c3 is you have to be able to prove that you don't have any connections to any political groups. And if you are promoting a political ideal, a political agenda, you lose your 501c. Now, I don't know when the law happened. I'll look it up here on the internet. Some of y'all out there could look it up for me and text it in to me. They came up with this new 501c4. I don't know where this shit came from. This shit came out the left field for me, and I didn't even know about it. And thank God that these white people were screaming about it in these groups. What are they called? I can't remember what the groups are called, but it don't even matter because those who are listening know, and you in the news, the Tea Parties, yeah, the Tea Parties. I'm so glad they mentioned this shit because this is a non-profit group that can't have a political agenda. It just can't be all your whole agenda is political. It's like 30% of your agenda could be political or 40% of your agenda. You just have to be able to prove it. But now this is the point that I'm bringing up, and I want y'all to think about if it was hard to get a 501c. And one of the things that a 501c couldn't do was have a political agenda, and all of a sudden you come out with a non-profit without really preparing the IRS for a non-profit that could have a political agenda, because this means that you could take money, you don't have to reveal your source of your money, and you could talk about a political agenda as a non-profit organization. That is an incredible amount of power. That's an incredible amount of responsibility. I mean, that's incredible. For me. So I only, just hearing it, I already knew that basically you was going to have to pee in the glass, shit in the cup, so that they could analyze and see what was going on. And it's the IRS's job, even though I'm not an IRS cheerleader, it's their job to make sure that you are able to follow all the rules if they give you the status. Because basically, what they are saying is, hey, you don't have to pay us taxes. And hey, we don't care where the money coming from. You just have to report the shit to us. Hey, you get a free card. This is free get out of jail free card where you can set up an organization and get all types of funding and you don't have to pay taxes on that shit. In a country that is driven by taxes, in a country with an ever blossoming governmental structure that always needs more of our money to just throw at any bullshit that some of these motherfuckers come up with, because that's basically what's going on. They got to be able to tax everybody. So of course, if you're talking about forming an organization where you possibly are going to be funneling millions of dollars and tens of millions of dollars possibly into political campaigns to affect the whole political system, they are supposed to check you with a fine-tooth comb. You know what I'm saying? So hey, welcome to my world. This shit was happening to me before this political shit even came in. So I'm like, what is the conflict? It's a non-profit that has a political agenda. So of course you're gonna have to really look deeply into what the roots of that organization is about. You know, because hell, Al-Qaeda could go on and apply for one. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. So they supposed to do that, and they was doing their job. Now all the other shit that's coming out, that's they fuck up. But this shit right here was just a door opener, and it's really nothing because the IRS is not doing anything inappropriate by making sure that these people are doing what they say they're doing. They've been doing that. They've been giving me a hard time. I guess I didn't scream loud. Oh, my fault. I didn't have social media when I was doing that shit, huh? Oh, and I didn't have $1 million backers that was able to cause hell or give me money to cause hell and bring it to the attentions of the news crews and shit like that. Now, on to this NSA shit. People are shocked that the National Security Agency is listening to your phone calls, not listening to your phone calls, but at least tracking where the numbers. They say they're not listening, tracking your phone calls, tracking at least the numbers, especially if you was making out of country calls and gathering all your emails and your text messages. And they do it, of course, in an honest way where they blank out. They don't know who it's from. They just able to read the shit. And if you get tagged, then they could go get a court order to be able to look into your shit. Well, America, I'm so glad that you finally woke up and you're able to live through what I've been living through for the last 25 years, because I swear my phone has been tapped since I was in college. So that shit didn't shock me. I'm not amazed. I'm not appalled. I'm not upset, because I'm glad that the rest of you motherfuckers out there could really deal with the shit that I've been dealing with. I'm going to tell you something right now, and this is an honest to goodness true story. When I was on college, some shit went down on campus and they started investigating me and an organization that I was involved with. And this was before cell phones. And I had a friend that moved to Atlanta and had been removed from me for a year and a half. Well, anyway, let's just say that my friend lived in a house. Now, I want to, so I don't, because I ain't gonna use names, but my friend lived in a house. He had 2 other roommates. He lived in a house that was rented by one of his friends' parents who lived in a different state than the state they were living in, and the mortgage, or not the mortgage, but the lease was in that person's parents' name. And he had a phone that was in his other roommate's name. Not only in his other roommate's name, but also in his parents' name, who lived in a different state. Now, he lived with them. There was no record of him living with them. And he just paid them out cash for the rent every month. Now, I guess I was being investigated, and they was, this how I know my phone was tapped. Well, anyway, they investigated my history at the school that I was attending, and they tracked him down. Now, remember, he had been removed from my presence and in my circle, and we didn't have a meeting place where we would meet at that time with him. They tracked him down and called him on the phone that wasn't in his name to ask him questions about me. Now, I found this out just a couple of years ago, and I'm like, they was able to track him down in a different state, not a state that he was born in, not a state where he was voting in. Just they was able to track him down without a fucking cell phone. I know that they was already checking emails. I know. I mean, I live through this shit every day. Whenever you talk about doing something contrary to what everybody else is talking about doing, when you talk about standing up for other people's rights and doing just things, then you need to be aware that you are going to be watched. Welcome to my world, America. All you motherfuckers on the watch list now. Ha ha ha. You know what I'm saying? So I hope you can sleep restfully. And I like to thank everybody for listening. I like to thank those that tried to come out, because I got some messages for people apologizing. Y'all don't have to apologize for not coming. Just tune in. You know what I'm saying? Tune in and pass it on. Share Freestyle Fridays with other people. This is Brother Hot Tim, and I am going to go out. And this track is my opening track and my closing track, and it's called I Have Had Enough, and it's by DJ Delfort Chadbourne. Go and check it out, and I'm out. This is Brother Hot Tim, and I'm closing out at Shisha Lounge.